Hi, my love. This is going to be your mini tarot reading. Just light the candle. Let's get that going. I have rose quartz here for the reading. Some amethyst and some labradorite. I think those are the ones I want to have on the table. Okay, so your question is, how am I doing at my current job? You changed your job 8 months ago after a previous 20-year one. So, so you were working at your place for 20 years, and 8 months ago you changed your job. So you had a big transition. So we kind of want to look at the energy of your career path right now, the energy of you. That's kind of how I'm going to approach the reading, and then just kind of take a look at anything that needs to come up, anything that comes up to me, like that I feel you need to hear. We'll approach the reading that way. I have quite a few decks here. I may not use all of them, but I wanted to make sure I had a few to choose from. So I really want to use this deck, though, this Oracle deck. I think it's called your True Colors Oracle, but I could be wrong. But I really wanted to start the basis of the reading with this. So let's just get the energies of my client, their question, their status right now with their career path, and just how things are doing at their current job. These two. Oh, there's three. Okay, so cool. We're gonna have 3 cards to start off with, and then we'll just go from there. Okay, let me move this down so you can see the table. All right. So we have Resurrection. I love it. That's perfect for your situation. Look beyond the obvious and overwhelmed. Really good reading. So this is going to be quite a truthful. It's giving me the vibe of like you're about to get not scolded, but you're about to hear, like the cards are going to tell it like it is. So I recommend getting a pen and paper so you can take notes with the reading. And this way you don't have to, rewatch the entire video over again. But what I'm seeing here is there's a story. So the Resurrection is the first month getting into the groove of a whole new job, a whole new environment, a whole new space where you're working with people. You resurrected yourself from the dead. What was happening, I feel, is the 20-year, like literally that 20-year stretch of you at the past job. I feel like you started to feel zombie-like. I feel like you started to lose sight of yourself, lose who you were. And it was like your body, your mind, your soul is shifting. And I feel like we do that every like 10-ish, I would say like 10 years. We go through a big shift that we just kind of evolve to the next level, to the next phase of our life, a version of ourselves in the next phase of our life. Because we're maturing, we're growing, we have more knowledge, more experience. And so what I feel like is that you had a 20-year stretch at the job. That's 10 years worth of growing and evolving. And I feel like it just no longer fit who you were. You started to feel zombie-like. You were in a major routine. You already knew what to expect day to day. You were probably bored out of your mind. You probably started to feel a lack of just a lack of passion, or a lack of sense of like who you were these days. Like you just started to feel detached from yourself. And the Resurrection card is telling me that you are reborn in a new person, like literally a new version of yourself. And so this change in environment, this change in what you're doing for work was necessary and you needed it. So that's a really good card to start with. Look beyond the obvious in the present. So now what I'm seeing in the present situation, look beyond the obvious, is kind of saying when you're asking yourself, how are you doing in your workplace? How am I doing in this new job that I've been in? And it's already been about 8 months, so you're getting close to your 1-year anniversary. Looking beyond the obvious is paying attention to the minor details, because I feel like you tend to focus on the big stuff. you focus on the major things like the big projects, or maybe that one thing that your boss told you that may have been criticizing your work, and you're focusing only on that and you're forgetting all of the other amazing compliments that you've received since then. So looking beyond the obvious, you have to kind of see, like beneath the surface, looking in the gray area of your job and everything, because there's more there. So nothing black and white. I want you to start kind of looking at your situation, looking at yourself in, literally like the gray area. Pay attention to the details, the little things that you overlook. That's what I kind of want you to start focusing on when it comes to paying attention to your job and your tasks and how you're doing. Now in the future tense with this third card, we have overwhelmed, which is a little worrisome, because I feel like perhaps you've been taking on a bit more tasks. Now what I'm feeling like is happening is perhaps when you've been in a job for 20 so years, you develop a routine, you develop habits, and you probably become so programmed to do it that you don't have to think twice about it. And so the work was just kind of like, you did it and it didn't affect you in any way. And what I'm seeing with the present job is that maybe you are taking on quite a bit of tasks and you're doing a hell of a lot more, and it's starting to weigh on you mentally and physically. The overwhelmed feeling. So I want you to kind of, especially as we're like dipping into, the new year, literally, I want you to kind of start looking at that, how much tasks are necessary that you're taking on, and do you really have to take on all of those things? Do you really have to be, devouring so much work? Are you trying to prove yourself, or are you trying, do you feel like you're still in the new person status, so that, you have to, like, it's expected of you? Or because that overwhelmed thing, I just feel like there's a lot of energies you're dealing with. You're not only dealing with being the new person in the job, what you're doing, but also you are working around people that you've never worked with before. That could be exhausting. And I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand with that Three of Swords. I feel like it's kind of, you don't want to admit that you're overwhelmed, or you don't want to admit that you're feeling that way, because you don't want to admit that maybe you don't want to say, oh, I regretted my decision of leaving my other job, or I don't want to run back to something that I'm familiar with, or something that I was settled with, simply because things aren't they're not evolving quite the way you wanted it to. I feel like that's why I was sensing like the cards are going to be very, very truthful with you. So you're going to, pretty much be handed a piece of the truth. But they're pretty much just saying that, they're calling it what it is, that if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling stressed and you're starting to have doubts, or you're starting to feel a little bit like unsure, like, did I really do the right thing? That's when you need to take a little bit of a step back, remind yourself the reasons why you left the other job to begin with, okay? I pulled the Hierophant and I pulled the King of Wands for you. What I'm seeing is there's a lot of structure in what you're currently doing, but you have a lot of passion for it, okay? So in order to be a King of Wands, you really have to have your space, your freedom, and your ability to express yourself, or to utilize those passions, or to do what it is that you want to do. Because a King of Wands can't be literally is not meant to be behind four walls, you know what I mean? A King of Wands needs a breath of fresh air every once in a while. He needs expansion, he needs travel, or he needs just newness. He doesn't like the 9 to 5 same old type of routine, okay? And that's kind of what I'm seeing, is like he's stuck in the middle. He's stuck between a Hierophant who loves the 9 to 5, who loves structure, who loves traditional jobs, or who loves rules and all of that. That's a Hierophant energy. And then he's also stuck between this Three of Swords, which to me, the Three of Swords can be the doubts, the regrets, the feelings of remorse, or feelings of like just second guessing your decisions. So I'm kind of feeling like maybe that's what's going on with you, that you're second guessing something, or maybe things are going great, you feel resurrected and whatnot, but you're kind of focusing on the negatives. And maybe that's why the look beyond the obvious is coming up for you, because it's telling you to see beyond just, you know, the overwhelming stuff, because it's not always like that. But I do see that is what's creeping up here. So it's just something for you to be aware of, that it's there. The cards are showing it. You didn't make a wrong decision. It's just you have to learn to adapt and evolve with the new changes that are in your life. And it's easy to go, it's not easy, sorry. It's not easy to go from being in a workplace for 20 years into a whole new habitat. So it's something that's going to take some practice, and it's going to take time. 8 months is technically, when you compare 8 months to 20 years, it's barely starting it. So what I'm seeing here is that maybe you've been keeping to yourself with a job. I don't know if you've been mingling a lot with coworkers, but I'm seeing that Four of Pentacles to kind of say that you've been kind of keeping to yourself. There may be one person in the workplace that you are kind of meshing with. So it's a Queen of Swords vibe. This is somebody who you have really good conversations with, and someone that you feel like you could talk to. There's still a mystery though. There's still a mystery with what lies ahead with this career. I'm going to be honest with you with my intuition. My intuition tells me that perhaps there's something there that there's more, like there's more to you. There's more to what you want. I don't know if there's an opportunity for advancing in this line of work that you're in, because I don't even know what it is that you're doing for work. You didn't specify, so I'm going based off of my my intuition on this. But perhaps there may be a promotional opportunity coming up that you might be interested in, because it's going to give you a little bit more freedom. Okay, a little bit more of that King of Wands energy, which is kind of what you're craving, I feel. Not being caged in a four-wall room all the time, all day, every day. You need a little bit more changed, and a little bit, just a little bit less of routine, and a little bit more of like, you don't know what to expect of your day. I feel like that's what you need more of. Let me pull on that with the Oracle cards. We have think about it. Interesting. So they're kind of showing you to contemplate some ideas, contemplate your feelings. I feel like it's contemplating this Three of Swords, because there's doubts there. I don't know. I'm like getting the feeling that there was something recent came up where you had the opportunity to go back, or you thought you could go back to where you came from, the job you came from. So maybe that opportunity is still there, and you're still kind of like going back and forth with, is this what I want to do? But you're being asked to think about it. You're being guided to really consider that before you take action. So this is not something to be impulsive about. This is definitely something that you need to put a little bit more consideration into. And then we have freedom. Interesting. So definitely what I'm seeing is you're not meant to be caged in. Okay. Those 9 to 5s, those jobs that are typical, that you know what to expect, you need something a little bit more freeing. So I'm sensing that there's some hesitation with where you're currently at. There is nothing wrong if you decide that this isn't a right fit for you, and if you go back to where you came from, or if you find something different. But I feel like it's like you have to honor your feelings, and even if those feelings are a little bit, you're embarrassed to admit them, we don't always make the right choices, but I want you to feel less overwhelmed. And if this is starting to be an issue with you, the cards are revealing freedom. And I was really feeling like that King of Wands, who is otherwise a very passionate, free thinking, they go for what they desire type of a person. They're not meant to be caged in. And that's kind of how I was seeing him. So really interesting that the think about it and the freedom card came up, because I feel like you're being guided to put some more consideration into your feelings. Think about it. Think of a plan or what it is that your next step is going to be. But seeking some freedom, like there needs to be a little bit more breathing room for you with your work. So I hope this helped, my love. I hope it gave you something to consider and think about, and I hope it answered your question. But we are out of time for your reading. So I wanted to just put that out there and see how it goes. If you have questions, comments, concerns regarding your reading, please send me an email. I would love to hear from you. If not, I wish you all of the best with what you do, and just take it day by day, and do what you do best, and don't worry and don't overthink things, and just go about your day to day. Don't focus so much on the past, and don't focus so much on what's to come. Literally live your day every day in the present. Okay? Love you, my love. Love you, my love. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.